Well, well, well. Oh, here we are. It has been a relatively interesting. Would I say interesting? Not really. How's everyone doing today? First and foremost, is everyone good? Healthy? Let me just wait for a little bit more, just so let's see will anyone be coming in, joining anytime soon. Also, I do want to apologize because my internet's a little bit weird today. It's not been good today. It did just dip just now. No GCSEs today. LOL. Get to chill. Hey, that's good, bro. Hey, I really hope you're doing good, studying well. Welcome to the stream as well, brother. Today we will be talking. As you can see, all of the topics are here down below. It's a little bit scuffed, and it's also very last minute. It is something that I've just recently planned it, just today. And there's a lot of things I feel like I want to get off my chest, and I also want people to also share to me, about their opinions, because I feel like right now we're going into a dark age when it comes to Hong Kong football, specifically Hong Kong national team football, because the Hong Kong Premier League, to be very honest with you, there are no new updates on the foreigner rules and everything, so it could be like, it could be ropes. It could be ropes for us for the foreseeable future of Hong Kong football. Okay. So obviously we all know that Chino has already managed a total of 6 games for Hong Kong. 5, let's just say 5, because I'm not counting the Hong Kong versus Seoul as a legitimate game. Daniele, welcome to the stream, brother. How are you doing, bro? By the way, lots of streams as of recent. Let me know if you guys like this, like, talking about subjects like this live. Good feedback means like people actually generally enjoys it, and makes me want to just continue doing this. Hola, Angry Bandry, welcome to the stream, brother. How are you doing tonight? Okay. And yes, going back to what I was saying, we're actually going to a bit of a weird situation now for the Hong Kong national team as well as the Hong Kong Premier League. Next season for the Hong Kong Premier League, there's going to be a lot of question marks because would it be worse for us? Would it be worse for the Hong Kong Football Premier League? We don't know. Would our, would we be producing more youngsters, giving more youngsters opportunities to play, or are you going to let more foreigners come to Hong Kong and play and, basically have a whole slot of many foreign players in a team, As well as that, we also got Typo next year, who will definitely be nowhere near as good as their prior seasons. So, and they're in ACL too. So that could really detriment the reputation of the Hong Kong teams in ACL2 and potentially put us to ACL challengers for the next 2, 3, maybe even 4 years. It will take a while for us to get back out of there, but okay. First, we all know currently what's happening for the Hong Kong national team. I am not proud of it. All right, I'm not happy with what's going on at the moment, but it is a painful rebuild. We will go to the Hong Kong versus Mongolia game. Personally, now I didn't really speak much about this game, and there's good reason for that, because I generally think that this game was actually a much worse performance than the Cambodia game, and I'm just going to explain a little bit more in detail as to why I feel like that on the Cambodia game section later. We're guaranteed Challenge League plus ACL2 playoff for at least the next couple of years anyway, I believe. Yep. And that's facts. That's the truth. That's the honest truth. It's not looking good for us, for the Hong Kong Premier League side, for that side. So, as we all know, that the Hong Kong national team against Mongolia, we made a few changes for that game, and it's actually like I generally am okay with Hong Kong using more unknown or players that don't really have that many opportunities to play for the Hong Kong team to play more. Yeah, I'm a fan of that because there is a time, especially under Anderson, I think, is when there are clear favorites, as well as Westwood, by the way. There are definitely favorites who I think that they should be nowhere near the team. Okay? Wait, let me just pull out... And I do apologize, I haven't eaten yet. I haven't eaten dinner yet. Okay, so... The game against Mongolia, where Chino has decided to put a 4-3-3 formation, and with players with Shinichi Chan left back, using them on the right, Gerbig and Nunes as two centre backs, Pong Chuk Hei as the main goalkeeper, Tan Chut Lok, Wong Wai, and Ma Hei Wei as the midfield, Junior in the left, Everton on the right, and Matty Orr as the main striker. Now, wait. Sorry. Wait, who's messaging me? Who the hell is messaging me? Oh shit. Chat, give me like 20 seconds. I need to reply to this. This is pretty important. Okay. Okay. Alright, I'm back. Sorry. Okay, wait, let me just see what I missed. You mean Philip Anderson? Who? He means Jordan Anderson, old HK manager. Yeah, sorry, I meant Jordan and, sorry, what's his last name? Yeah, Anderson, yeah. Yes, Anderson always used Philip Chan, who became Philip Anderson. But they are his favorites, okay? And that's okay with him because he was at a period of time where I'm gonna get off track if I go deep into this, but okay, I will leave that to later. As I've gone back to the Mongolia game, I feel like the idea was fine going into this game because we know that Mongolia hasn't played in a while, and they're obviously not in their home ground, they're in the away ground, so there's a lot more pressure for this team to do well. But I think Mongolia actually did pretty well in this game. And it's weird to say, but I don't think Hong Kong was terrible. We won 2-0, and I still think that this performance was worse than Cambodia. But there are very small glimpses in this game where you can tell that the players has this synergy, has this connection, like their brains have all locked in together all at once. Yeah, the first goal that Hong Kong scored was a great assist from Ma Hei Wei, by the way, and a brilliant finish from Junior. Yeah, and to be very honest with you, then the second goal, which it didn't win in, to be very honest with you, it wasn't even across the line. That was our second go. Yeah. Overall in this game, Hong Kong has maintained 69% possession in that whole game. Mongolia with 31. Hong Kong with about 3 corners. 0 corners for Mongolia, by the way. We had 9 total shots with, I think, about 3 to 4 of them being on target. Mongolia only had like 3 shots. And I think it was only like one goal, one shot on target. But it was plenty of fouls in this game. Plenty of fouls. I think Hong Kong had nearly about 20%, 20 fouls or something. Wait, I think, let me just check my stats here. Yeah, so 18 fouls for Hong Kong and 19 fouls for Mongolia. So it was a bit of a dirty game, but some of them I don't feel like they were fouls. I feel like the players were quite, like they were going down pretty easily. They were like Bambi on ice. Yeah. But going into this game, Hong Kong was playing more of a 4-3-3 formation with Tan Chit Lok playing as that main CDM, as that, you know, like that defensive-minded player. And then Wong Wai and Ma Hei Wai being that cam that can just try to make things happen in this game, right? Because they're both very good playmakers, which surprised me because I thought Barak would be given the opportunity to play even more for this team. But I guess maybe Chino wanted to experiment just a little bit more, giving Ma Hei Wai, which I am a personal big believer on this kid. Wong Wai, you know, he's Mr. You know, he's our most creative player. Yeah. Joga, welcome to the stream, bro. Sorry, I have to disagree. Apart from the first 15 minutes, I felt Hong Kong was poor, especially in the final third. The possession stats for me was deceiving. It was mainly sideways and backwards. Are we talking about Cambodia or Mongolia? Because I'm referring to Mongolia. I'm referring to the game to Mongolia at the moment. But I'll quickly finish Mongolia because the main talking point is Cambodia versus Hong Kong. But in that game, Hong Kong was very direct. The passes aren't the best, but they were very safe passes. Lots of passes that were going backwards, as you know, Joker said, but not sure. Mongolia. Okay. I sometimes feel like we both like each of us probably read the game a little bit different, but you know, the first it's always a Hong Kong thing, to be honest with you, is that Hong Kong does well in the first few minutes. It is rare to see Hong Kong continue that momentum across the game. Yeah. And in that game against Mongolia was just, I mean, it was boring, if I'm being honest with you. I don't think the players were brave enough in a home crowd of about 4,000 to 5,000 people. You know, players wanted to be safe. They don't want to be targeted out. And the game against Mongolia, I would just say it's a bore fest. There were plenty of other games that felt the exact same. I think that game against Nepal last year was about the same. The game against Cambodia last year as well is about the same. The 0-0 draw against Singapore in Singapore for the Asian Cup qualifiers is about the same. So, you know, there's that. I think the players that were playing on that day, some of them were still fresh off an injury. Matty Orr was still injured. Well, he wasn't, sorry. He was playing, but he only just recovered from news sources. Yu Jinam, another player that has came back from an injury, didn't really get that much game time. And I think there was another player in that team that was also recently injured. I'm not so sure. And Shinichi got injured in this game as well, which is an absolute bummer. In this game. It wasn't until maybe Ng Yu Hei came on that they start looking like they tried to penetrate again. But overall for me, Hong Kong looks disjointed and lack chemistry, but got away with a 2-0. I think Aki is injured, hasn't played since April. Wait, really? Oh, I didn't know that. I thought he was playing. I mean, I don't really keep up with China like that. So if that's the case, I do apologize for that. Mongolia game was terrible, very standard HK, just different in having the early goal. I agree. Do you think Mongolia performance was worse or India, the last Asia qualified games? I will stick with Mongolia first. I agree. I think Ng Yu Hei is that fucking guy. Yeah, I do personally believe that this man is our Lord and Savior in the future. That free kick was not in, by the way. I just want to clarify that ball did not go in the back of the line. Yeah, but somehow it was been given a go, and I think that's good for the player. I think it's good for Ung Yu-hei. Yeah, but I think even he knows that that probably didn't go in until he got back home. Yeah, as well as that, he likes to cut into his right foot. He loves his right foot, which is also another reason why he got found out quite a lot in the second game against Cambodia. And, you know, you can tell that he's just levels above. Like, you can tell that he's, like, levels above most of the other wingers that we have. Like, Junior, as much as I love him, he's not as... He's getting older, yeah? And he would never be able to bring that sort of high intense play or that, you know, quality, you know, football, I would say, yeah, as what he has provided a few years ago. Yeah, so I always look into this and I'm like, why you start Junior ahead of Ung Yu-hei? I just don't understand that, because there is a better player available, yeah, that can make a big difference. But the game against Mongolia, it is definitely by far one of the worst wins I've probably seen Hong Kong get. Nico takes better free kicks. What, Nico? What, the guy from SSP, yeah? Killing Westwood and Chino don't think Ung Yu-hei has the stamina to play more than half an hour at international level. If that's the case, that's not good. I cannot accept that. You know, I don't know. Well, I'll probably get to my opinions later on this, on the last segment, but I don't really want to share too much on my thoughts about players specifically. I also don't think Ung Yu-hei can defend well, so he's the wild card for the second half. Oh god, I got so much I want to share. Okay, fuck it, I'll just do it, okay? I agree, Ung Yu-hei's defensive abilities is really not that great. I don't think he can defend. I don't think he can really track back. I think he's as thin as a twig. He needs to definitely build muscle. I do personally believe that. But I don't understand. Then if that's the case, I don't understand why we still start Junior ahead of Sun Min. Is that his name? Sorry. The left back, the left wing back. Sorry, I'm just going to double check on his name. I don't want to sound like a racist. Sun Ming him. Yeah? So why, if we're playing such, you know, aggressive football and we need wingers to track back, I would say Sun Ming him should have definitely been the better option available. He can shoot. Yeah? He can pass. He's a very good dribbler. His defensive capabilities is actually pretty decent. I wouldn't say like I want him to be my starting left back, because I think defensively, if he's our main left back, he's shocking. I'd rather with a Shinichi, you know, or if Worthington, for example, yeah, Worthington as a straight up fullback, if he stays in Hong Kong for the next 4 more years, yeah, then yeah. Maybe even Jordan Lamb, I would say, is probably a better defended left back. Callum Beattie, another better option when it comes to defending. Like, there's just far more better options when it comes to defending. Okay, let me just clear up chat. I also don't think Ung Yu-hei can defend well. Yep, apparently Ung Yu-hei has very poor discipline. Heard some stuff. Heard some stuff like that about him in China. Fucking hell, really? Or rather, Ung Yu-hei can't bring that level of energy for an entire game. He needs to stop playing video games late at night. Yes, a mentality Nico would never have. Nico always never have the talent or X factor to change a game that Ung Yu-hei nor has anyone in the Hong Kong pool. That's a fact. I think the logical thing of starting Junior as left wing, he was never going to play the away game, so it rests other players, in theory. Okay, let's just say that that's, in theory, that was the case. Yeah? I know this is gonna be a weird shout. I like Junior, but I always thought him as a shadow striker is his best position. He's not fast enough to be a winger. I feel like he could be that player that could just slot in behind the player's back. He's very good with his control, you know, like also a very good passer as well. So I always felt like I would prefer him as maybe like a cam, a very aggressive cam, or a shadow striker. That's where I would put him. And yes, if what he said is true, he definitely needs to grow up, because I don't think he realized that how much trust and faith the Hong Kong fans are putting onto him. Yeah, his time in Eastern, when he first came out of the woodworks, he looked incredible. He looked insane. Yes, he was a bit sluggish, but the way he thinks about attacking, it is very similar to the way Everton does it. Yeah, because Everton likes to cut into his left. Because Everton's right foot, he has no right foot. Very similar to Ung Ye, he has no left foot. But both playing in the complete opposite wings. Yeah, and Ung Ye, he may not be fast. Oh no, sorry, he is fast. He may not be strong, sorry, but the way he moves with the ball, the way he thinks about dribbling past the player, shows how much like the levels he is above most of the other wingers. Yeah, Murky's, for me, he's a good player. He's not a starting 11 player though. Yeah, I don't think he should be. If Everton retires from international duty, then maybe he will, because I don't think there's really any other option. Yeah, but Murky's, he's more like a just run straight. When he turns, he can't really turn. His agility is pretty poor. His balancing is pretty poor. But when he just runs, if the ball was like an off-ball movement pass and he makes that long run, that's what he's very good at. And he's also very good at positioning in the final third attack. Okay, anyway, getting very out of hand. Hong Kong versus Mongolia, it is definitely by far our worst win so far. I don't remember a win that I thought, wow, it is worse than this. Yeah? Now, there's a lot of stats of like how much we have dominated in this game. In the end of the day, stats are stats. It doesn't really mean much. Going into this game, Hong Kong were 100% favorites. I would have been shocked if Hong Kong even get a draw. I would have been shocked if Mongolia even scored, which they had all of their chances were pretty much whoa, you know, like, oh, sit back, buddy. So yeah, I would say like this is probably a worse win. I would say this is a worse win compared to India because the stakes were higher. Yeah, I feel like that India game had a lot of people hyped up for it. I love how people always forget the fact that Nico has 2 goals for Hong Kong and that's only has 1. In the end of the day, it's not really about who scores what and who does what. It's not about stats. Yeah. Ung Ye is levels, years, even now, miles better than Nico can ever be as a player. No matter how you think it, no matter what you think about it. I love Nico. I think as a left wing back, he is decent. Very similar to Son in a way. Son is way better at attacking, and I think Nico is way better at defensive abilities. But does he have what it takes to elevate his game? I don't think so. Yeah? And plus the left back position, it is a very, very competitive position at the moment. Nico would be lucky to get into this team. Because we got Callum Beattie, who I think is a very underrated player this year, but still would probably be my third choice as a left back. We got Son, who is not even a left back, he's a left wing, but they play him as a left back, which is weird, and so does the team, or as a left wing back, which is fine. And we have Shinichi, which is by far Hong Kong's best player, and he can still grow into an even better player. So from my knowledge and from what I expect from a fan standpoint, unless something tragic happens, touch wood, nothing happens, there's no chance Nico is ever getting back into this team. I agree with that shout, to be fair. I would like to see Junior as a shadow striker of Matty Orr. Yes. That would be good. Because Matt Orr, he's a good player, man. He is a good player. Yeah? And I've said this in my streams. If you watch Matt Orr played in those 2 games, after he came back from that injury, he was running, he was tracking back, he wasn't just a poacher. There was something elevated, like something about him has changed. So I just generally do believe that he has improved. I think him going to Shanghai probably humbled him a little bit, maybe just a little bit. Yeah, he's not that guy anymore. Back in Shenzhen, and no matter like if he can't score goals, he has to do something else, and that is what he has done in both Mongolia and also for Cambodia. For ASEAN, Bear, Yu, Gerbig, Jason, Shinichi, midfield of Locke, Wong Wai, Murkies, left wing, Everton, right wing, junior shadow striker, or striker. I would say if Aki is back, I would probably prefer him in that position instead of Wong Wai, but that's just me. Worst win, India, 1-0 win, penalty win. I would argue even Jordan Lamb is ahead of Nico as left wing back also. That's a hot take. That's a hot take. In Shanghai, he can't pop across the border to LKF as easily. There's so many LKF spots in Shanghai, bro. Okay, bro, you've gone too far. You know I like Jordan too, but that's too far. I would say that those two are in very similar positions as players. Okay, so the game against Mongolia, I was not impressed. I feel like the system let us down. The players didn't really know what they want to do, and we got pretty lucky with the fact that we had a very good first 15 to 20 minutes. We scored a goal, and then a very lucky goal that was given to us from the officials. Okay, but it was fine. It is just a friendly. It is something to test out, which is what Chino is supposed to do. He's supposed to experiment with these teams. But if you look at these players after this game, compared to maybe like when they were under Westwood, they didn't look devastated. They didn't look like, they didn't feel like how do I say it? Like the vibe was not down, and I feel like they know that they can also play better. Yeah. Now let's head to our next segment, which is the Hong Kong Cambodia game. Now this one, wow, oh wow, oh wow. I can possibly say that this game really shocked me in a lot of ways. Not because Hong Kong lost, but because the way Cambodia played was phenomenal. If you're watching that game as a neutral, you look at that and you're like, whoa, Cambodia, they're fucking doing shit. Yeah, they're doing God's work. The way they play football on that day was silky smooth, liquid football. Yeah, they could have scored more. They absolutely could have. Now, from my point of view, when it comes to Hong Kong, because Hong Kong is my team, I am extremely disappointed. Yeah, we should have never lost this game. We should be going into this game and winning it. Yeah. Worst case scenario, a draw. But to lose it in that fashion is insane. And I can't say how disappointed I am about this result. The first 15 minutes to 20 minutes, as we already said, was fantastic. I generally thought that we're going to get something very special here, because the first 15 to 20 minutes, Hong Kong were incredible. It feels like everyone was just working. Everything just seems like it was going according to plan, with the free at the back system. Yeah. Now, when it comes to the players being selected, I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit surprised. I was actually flabbergasted that certain players were selected, but it is what it is. It is an experiment, you know. It is something to test the waters. It's not something that it's got. We're this is our end game. It's not like that. We're going into this game. Wait, what? Are we watching the same game? LOL. Yeah, I thought. Did you not think that our first 15 to 20 minutes against Cambodia was also good? I thought us playing 3 at the back made us look a lot better. Because if you compared the whole game, if you compared, the start was decent, but it wasn't fantastic. Really? I thought the football that we're playing on that, like the first 15 to 20 minutes was really good. Comparing to all of the other games, comparing to all the other games, even under Westwood, all the other games that we have done, we have played, I generally thought that that first 15 to 20 minutes is up there of recent times. Okay, maybe not recent times. That's a bit of a stretch. Maybe under Chino. Under Chino, I'll probably say that first 15 minutes was the best bit of football we have played under Chino. HK did not start well at all, lol. It was all Cambodia in the first half, lol. Not for me. I don't think we started well. It's at all. It was okay. I'm debating. I don't know, dude. Really? Okay, I might need to rewatch the game then, but... Really? You guys think that? That's so interesting. I thought we got the possession and started composed, but at no point did I thought we started well. I thought we started well. Then once we got pressed, we lost control of the game, which is what I was about to say. Didn't we start getting pressed after the 20th minute, and that's where we start getting found out? Sorry, I also think the first 12 to 15 minutes were good. Okay, maybe fantastic was a bit of an overstretch. Okay, maybe fantastic. The word fantastic was a bit of, you know, like it's not real. Okay, let's just ignore what I said. Okay, but it was good. I thought we played good. But look, okay, maybe, okay, wait, lads, okay. By the way, I've been watching Tottenham this whole year, okay? So I've not watched any sort of like good football this whole year in my life, in this year, okay? So maybe when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, this is like fucking champagne football, frothing in the mouth. Yeah, we had possession and we were composed, but not overly threatening. Okay, that I agree to. First 10-minute matches, expectation. 0 shots, some overhit crosses, no real threat. Afterwards, our players didn't run. So we can, okay, so we can all agree that after the 20th minute mark, that's when all shit went down. Can we all agree to that? Yeah? Even though some people don't think that the first 15 to 20 minutes was good. Some people think that it was okay. I thought it was okay. Maybe fantastic was a little bit ridiculous. Maybe that should have never been said out. I should have never said that. But let's just say that the first 15 minutes was okay. Because then you can see that Cambodia switch up a gear and actually played very different to what they were doing from the first 10 to 15 minutes. They start high pressing us, especially towards our wing backs, because they realize that Yuji Nam and Sung Min Him are basically our attacking, like our players that can progress forward. Yeah, the Hong Kong team, Chino, decided to pick a 3-4-3 formation. It actually wasn't really a 5 at the back until we hit the second half, because Yuji Nam and Sung Min Him, they were playing as, you can tell, like they were playing as right mids and left mids because they were so far forward all the time. Yeah, and then in that defense, like the center backs have widened the gap. So that's how I personally see it. And in that second half, we turned into a 5-3-2 because I think some of the players were starting to get tired. I don't know what happened, that no more commitment. I can agree that the first 10 to 15 minutes was already the best Hong Kong did in the context of the whole game. So Joker, do you think that the first 10 to 15 minutes is worse than the Mongolia game? Because I think that the performance against Cambodia as a whole is better than the performance against Mongolia, the win that we have. I think our defeat, when it comes to the overall football, I know this is going to sound insane, okay? But when you see Hong Kong going up against Mongolia and we win 2-0, it was not a good win. But a win's a win, right? But the overall football was horrendous to watch. But the game against Cambodia, I generally thought is a little bit more enjoyable, and the tactics were there. There was a strategy in that game. So I personally think that us losing to Cambodia was actually a better performance than our win against Mongolia as an overall team. The three at the back doesn't work when Everton plays striker and Timmy plays cam. Then there's basically one option out wide on each side. And that is also one of the reasons why I feel like sometimes, like, it just, like, he can't get it right. Chino can't get it right. I see Ong Chuk Pung playing as right wing every now and then. Yeah. I see Everton being pushed into a striker, which he's clearly not good at. Yeah. And then when he puts into striker, he pushes Matt Orr out of his position. Yeah. And then as well as that, Yu Zinam and Sung Mi Him turn into inverted wingbacks, which they are around in the center, which means that there was actually no one on the far wing side of the when Cambodia is attacking. To be fair, I thought we were as bad as each other those two games. I'm sorry, at least Mongolia we had some openings and some half chances versus Cambodia we had 0 shots on target. Okay, that's completely fair and that's a great argument. I agree with that. I feel like the Mongolia game we have better chances, but I think for me it's about how, like, is there a strategy? Is there a way we're gonna, yeah, is there a way that we can go forward? And I feel like that three at the back for me looks like a much better idea. Both games were diabolical. At least I didn't have to pay to watch Cambodia. Thank goodness for that, right? So I am sorry, I can't agree that we were better versus Cambodia, because honestly last night we were abysmal, probably one of the worst Hong Kong performances I have seen in recent years. We were awful. Even the game against Nepal, even that game against Nepal last year. Wow. Okay. Does that, am I okay, chat, am I crazy then? Am I crazy? Am I crazy? There is no strategy in Chino ball. Give it to Bafu doesn't work for Hong Kong. Nepal is right up there, lol. I'll probably be honest, I still think that bloody draw against Nepal was one of the worst football matches I have ever watched, ever. Okay, so clearly a lot of people disagree with what I'm saying, and that's perfectly fine. You know, we're free to share our own opinions about this. You know, I personally do think that it's not a good performance. But let's agree on that. It wasn't a great performance, but I generally didn't think that it was the worst game I've ever watched. I generally don't think that, you know, we were terrible. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't have enough shots. I agree, but how do I say this? How do I say this without sounding like a dickhead? Okay. I think the reason why I think that this game is not as bad is because I like this. I like the system that is at. I've always been a big fan of a 3 at the back system. Here is one for you. Tell us what made you think we were not that bad last night. Would love to hear your views. Okay, well, I think first and foremost, I think from my point of view is that, first of all, let's start with players, okay? Bear, one of his best ever performances for Hong Kong, and I think definitely one of his best performances in his career so far as a player, yeah? We've got Remy, which we've barely seen in the team, yeah? Not really been given that many chances. I thought he has actually done pretty decent in that game as a player that hasn't really played much for the Hong Kong team. Vaz Nunes, you know, say what you want, aerial threat. He does what he does best. Yeah. And Gerbig, I mean, Gerbig, it is what it is. Yeah. He's always just that you need him most when you're desperate. That's what I would say. Okay. Now, it's the center. Now, I think the defending on that night, on the air, we've done really well. The 2 goals that we have conceded, by Cambodia, yeah, were mostly individual errors. Okay. The first goal, okay, this might contradict what I just said about Vaz Nunes, okay? But he has his flaws and he has his pros. He has his pros and he has his cons. I've always said Vaz Nunes is not a player that should have the ball at his feet. He's very bad at passing the ball. He's very bad at controlling the ball, and he's also really not that much of a great dribbler. And as a centre back, especially in that central role, which is mostly where you want your best defenders to pass the ball at, you probably would want Jason in that position, if you ask me, because he is definitely our best centre back when it comes to the ball in his feet, or maybe even Leon Jones, if we're going to stretch it like that, or even Gerbig, yeah, because at least he has played CDM and he knows how to, and you know, he has that pressure when it comes to players going towards him as a midfielder. But that first goal all came from a very poor clearance from a cross into the box from Vaz Nunes, where he was off balance and he basically scuffed the clearance, sorry, yeah, and then it just bounced into Ogawa, I think, from Cambodia, and he shot the ball from long distance and the ball went in. How is that Chino's fault? Okay? How is that Chino's fault if that's the case? Yeah? It is from an individual error. It was a terrible clearance. Terrible clearance. Yeah? It's almost the worst I've ever seen Argentina play. Formless like water, my friend. HK has better defenders who has played fantastic in the back 3, and Chino played 3 guys. Oh, my mum is calling. Oh my goodness, I'll call you later, mum. Who barely play in the back 3. First goal was savable. I don't agree. I don't think the first goal was savable at all. LOL, no chance first goal was a worthy. I agree. The first goal was a fantastic goal. And you know what? We can forget about that first goal, because that first goal was fantastic. It was a great finish, but that came from a terrible clearance from Vaz Nunes. Okay? And then we can go into that second goal. That second goal, Hong Kong was in possession. Sun and Yuzino was also playing as inverted wingbacks during that time in the game. It was like around 48th, 49th minute. Yeah. So they were more towards that cam position or the center mid position, not as fullbacks. Yeah. So Vaz Nunes passed the ball directly to Sun because he was already tracking back. He's already tracking back to try and get this ball. He was off balanced for some bizarre reason and then made a terrible pass back to his player, which the pass didn't even make halfway through the pass to, I think it was Remy. Yeah. And then we all know Cambodia is very quick. All of the players are fucking rapid. And then boom, they were through on goal. Remy's positioning in that position was also shocking. His communication to Vaz Nunes during that moment, was awful, because he ran a bit too far wide. Sorry, no, he didn't run a little bit far too wide. He ran directly back, and what he should have done was he should have gone towards the left back position to prevent the player from making a through ball pass, because at least you can try and like clear the ball or like block the ball from going through. And we all know Vas Nunes is not really the fast. He's by far our slowest center back, sorry, and he was tracking back, yeah. And then as well as that, Gerbing is also not a fast player. He's probably our second slowest player in our team, yeah. And then he can't track back. He was too slow. Cambodia whips the player whips the ball in, boom, second goal. That is also another individual error, and that is my argument as to why I feel like it's okay. Just so people know, I'm not defending Chino in any sort of way of this performance. I want people to understand, yeah. I do agree the performance was not good. I wouldn't say it's by far our worst. Yeah, I think there were far worse performances in the game. I feel like the game against Guangdong, the 2-2 draw, was a far worse performance because they were down to 9 men and we couldn't score anymore after that. That's also based on Chino. Yeah, the 1-1 draw against Nepal, I think that was also really bad. Yeah, the 0-0 draw against Singapore, that is absolutely piss poor. The 1-1 draw, we can also talk about that 1-1 draw against Bangladesh. Yeah, there are so many games where I personally, as a fan, think that is a worse game. But the problem with this game is that offensively, we were non-existent. We were just not good enough. The players don't know how to make runs. And as well as that, we have players that doesn't even know what they're supposed to do. Wong Wai, for example, a great example. He had 2 opportunities where all he had to do was just continue the run, which is what Chino wants to do. They want their wingers and their midfielders to just run forward. Yeah? Bit of suicide football in a way. But Wong Wai decided to stop, and I think it was Everton that was trying to pass him to give him a through ball, and he just stopped mysteriously. He just stopped, and then the opportunity gone. Yeah? And I think there was another one where Wong Wai had another great opportunity. All he had to do was just keep running. Nope, he decided not to, and then the player made the pass, and boom, got that. As much as we can blame Chino for such bad tactics, we should also take the players into consideration for faults, because in that game, in those last 2 games, our passing was abysmal. That I can agree on. I don't think our passing has been this bad ever. The players doesn't seem to be able to find their teammates. And there's a reason for that. Because all of our players are so close to each other, there is no options. This just isn't. Ang Chuk-pung plays as a right wing every now and then. Yeah? Tan Chuk Lok plays as a cam every now and then. If you have Tan Chuk Lok playing as cam, you have Ang Chuk-pung playing as right mid, yeah, and you have Yu Ji-nam and Sun Ming-him playing as inverted wing backs, which technically turns them into the centre mids. You have Everton and Matty All playing as the striker, yeah, and then you have Ma Hei-wai supposed to be a midfielder but playing as like a inverted winger at this point. Like, there's 7 players in a straight line on the pitch. How are they supposed to do anything? And that's due to Chino, and I agree. Yeah? But even the most simple passes in that game, they can't do it. Passing back to the defenders, just like, it's just shocking. Yeah? Passing it forward, slow. Yeah? Passing it sideways, somehow manages to pass it backwards. Yeah? But the idea was there. And that's what I'm trying to get at. I feel like people are saying like Chino doesn't have a single clue, or doesn't have a fucking clue on what he wants to do. I don't actually believe that. I personally believe that he wants to create this new idea. He might even be changing his philosophy of football to adapt to these Hong Kong players. And I agree with like what Adam said. You know, why would you play a defender who has not played in the 3 at the back system, and there's players in the bench that has been playing in the 3 at the back system, but you won't let them play? I agree. That's a bit questionable. There are question marks all over that, and I'm not disagreeing. But we did say that he is going to give more chances for players that don't have that many opportunities. And we also have to take into consideration that He's using a lot more younger players to play in these games. While before, they don't. We won't use that. We won't do that. Yeah. Like, do you think chat? Do you think I'm chatting shit? Do you think, like, is there anything you guys want to disagree with me on? Because I kind of want to know, because I know most of you guys disagree that this game wasn't as bad. It was actually horrible, one of the worst. But do you guys think what I said made sense? I agree, back three will only work if you have at least one. They have the pace to cover the other two. Jason, Gerbe, and Vas will work better instead of with Remy. You know what? Yes. You know what? Remy was out there like the lamb in the slaughter. He should have made changes at halftime, either personnel or system, not waiting until second go. Yeah, that's true. Oh. I just think 2-shot 0 goal is just poor. You've talked a lot about defense issues, but attack we've been bad as well. No, that's what I've been saying as well. When it comes to attack, when it comes to us hitting at the attack, hitting at the counter, even when we have possession, our players are too far forward. Like, even our midfielders have turned into attackers in a certain way. Like, that's a big issue, and we're not able to make any passes, you know. But like, here's the thing. What are we supposed to do? Our best player, our best attacker is Matt All. Yeah? And then after that, we got no other options. Our attack has been bad for a while now. The lack of options up front is very alarming. Yeah, it truly is. You know, like, you just don't know what to expect in the future for this Hong Kong striker position, bro. Like, there's a lot of players that are okay, but would they ever get a call up? Probably not. Like, it's a bit bleak, if you ask me. Alright. Next. The one that everyone has been waiting for. Chino, my friend. Is it time? Chat. Is it time for him to go? I bet you wish we had Stefan on the bench last night. To be honest, he would have made a difference. Chat. Is it time? Is it time for him to go? I want to hear what people say first, because there's a lot of people, like, I can also agree in a certain way that I would say Chino out. Can we not talk about if he should now leave, instead about if he should be hired, because now it's too late. Okay, now here's my question to you, my friend. What other manager do you think can do a job like this? People say, like, there's a lot of people that are saying like there were 300 candidates. There's a part of me, I don't believe that. Not out yet, but he needs to make some changes. Okay, nope, Chino to stay for me. He needs time, because right now this is a period where we need to find some sort of stability. But what was he asked by the FA? Win games or renew the squad? Because that's the thing for me. You see, Joga, Danielle, Hit Glove has the exact same. I feel I can agree more towards you guys, because is Chino, was Chino ever the right man? No. But was he the only option? Probably yes. Because if the Hong Kong FA wants to divert back to the Hong Kong team, the Hong Kong way, you know, giving youngsters a chance, because let's be honest, yeah? Wait, sorry. Because let's be honest, the youth for young Hong Kong for footballers in Hong Kong, I promise you right now, from hand to heart, this is an all-time worst situation I've ever seen. And that goes all the way back down to the Hong Kong Premier League in a way. He's giving 100%, yes, but 100% is not enough for us. We need a good coach, not a shit one giving his all. We should have never sacked Westwood. That's my opinion. I feel like the hate for Chino is unjustified. He has proven his mark as a player and also as a manager. People can say, yeah, because he had Buffon. Yeah, that's why he's done well. That's why he has won all those trophies. Look what has Buffon done in Liman. What has he done? You know, what has Buffon done for Liman? What, a League Cup, finishing third, no ACL yet again? You know, like, I feel like Chino is very underrated as a manager. And that's just my personal opinion, because I've always liked him as a coach. I've always liked him as a person. And what he has done for Eastern would not have been no other manager would have been, okay, maybe other managers could, but depending on who wants to come to Eastern anyway. But during that time, Chino to me looked like one of the best managers in Hong Kong. And I've always said, imagine if we can bring him a manager that knows Hong Kong inside out, that knows and also gives young Hong Kong players a chance as a Hong Kong manager. That's what I want. And now it's happening. And I like that. But is he out of his depth? Probably. Probably, because he has never managed a national team before. But there is no risk. There is absolutely no risk for this manager at the moment. Yeah? All we have is just international friendlies. Yes, we have the FA ASEAN Cup, but let's be honest. We're just there for vibes. Yeah? If you think we're gonna win that, you're a little bit delusional. Yeah? Funny, because you were one of the first to say Westwood out when we lost to Singapore, LOL. Even Chino isn't right doesn't mean Westwood is right. Jordan Anderson, my favorite coach of Hong Kong, to be honest. Jordan Anderson, he is a fans manager. Yeah? He loves to get involved with the fans. Yeah? And I'll be honest, underrated manager, to be honest, for Hong Kong. It's just very unfortunate because the Hong Kong FA fucked everything for him. Yeah? What is he supposed to do in the bloody Asia Cup? World Cup qualifiers. It's so difficult. Yeah. Alright. And then, nobody is right, but he would have been a better option. But you want Jordan back? Really? That makes no sense. That would just revert back to the whole like you see, I feel like the people that knows Chino is not like the best manager, may not be the best option, but is what we should just accept with, because he's the only manager that would probably give chances to other players to prove themselves. But I feel like the people that want him out, they're thinking about, oh, we should win now. Because from what I hear on social media, I don't think I've seen a single person that has commented who would have been a better replacement manager. because I was wrong. I'll be the first one to hold my hand up. All right, but hands up. Yo, welcome back, bro. Welcome back. If he is better, he wouldn't have to leave. Here is another take. All right, Joker. The Hong Kong job at this moment isn't the... The Hong Kong job at this moment isn't the most attractive job, and I won't be surprised if not many better managers apply for the post at this moment. So Chino is best option for me. I agree with that, because Hong Kong doesn't have Asian Cup. There's nothing competitive this year or next year. So what manager will want to come in now and rebuild this team? Because they won't. There are managers that wants to win now, and Chino is not here for the long run, but he is a manager that will do the job now, and all he can do is basically just push forward younger players to play at the highest level of international football as possible, which is what he is doing. Because I can guarantee you this, I can promise you this: if Westwood was still in charge of this Hong Kong team, yeah, if Westwood was still in charge of this Hong Kong team, Jason wouldn't stand a chance. Bear would never be given the chance. Yeah. Jay Haddle and Betty, maybe they do because they start to speak English. Yeah. Remy will be nowhere near this club. Nico will be nowhere near this club. Yeah. And Awal, Stefan, Sandro, they might come. He might come back. Who knows? Who knows? But it was just going to be a bunch of experienced players, which is not what we want, because we now need to stop. We now need to start developing our younger players. Because if you look at that Cambodia team yesterday, yeah, all of their players that played for them that day, most of them are in their early 20s, mid 20s, and look how good they look. Yeah. We're not in there for the vibes. We're hosting Div 2 with the likes of Cambodia, Myanmar, and other shite. If we don't win or at least come top 2, it's embarrassing, as good teams are in Div 1. But isn't that just high expectations? Because I don't think we're as far, like, I think we're in there because we're just as good as they are. Because I always said, from, like, for us, we should be a lot lower in the ranks. That's my personal opinion. Because all of the teams that we have played with so far has been teams that are shit. Which is why we keep ranking up. Do I see us being Cambodia? Yeah, probably. If we locked in. Yeah. But I don't know. I just think, are we overhyping our players? Are we overhyping our team? We're 155 in the global ranks, but is there really that much of a difference comparing Hong Kong to Myanmar, Cambodia, Bangladesh? Bangladesh is way lower than us, miles lower than us, but when we played them, it was a very competitive game between two good teams. So I wouldn't call them shit because we're shit. Hong Kong is shit. I just feel like the expectation, like some of the fans, I think, are delusional in a way to think that Hong Kong is this, you know, above 100 ranked team in the FA Cup global rankings, and we should be winning every single game that we play, which I don't think we should. We have never lost to Cambodia until yesterday, but eventually we're going to lose to them anyway, right? So I just feel like, you know, maybe some people just think a bit too much. Maybe. I don't know. It might just be me. Ooh, Winston, your message got restricted. I don't know why. What happened here? Oh, I don't know what happened. I want to see what you put now. All right, Nathan, I would like your opinion. If Chino was so good at using the developing young players, why did his team suddenly perform bad with Eastern in 25 to 26 when he actually has to use young players? Okay, well, this is not entirely his fault. And this is the first thing I want people to really understand about him, is that the prior season, the prior season to last season, he had good players around him as well. He also got good young players as well. There are proven evidence of, what he has done as a manager and where the players ended up going during his time in Eastern. Yeah. Is he good? Let's determine the term good. He has won 2 trophies back-to-back seasons. He has gotten his team to ACL2s back-to-back seasons. Yeah. People can say, "Oh, Bafu is like he was like very good for he's very good for Chino because he's an amazing player." What has he done for Lee Man then? Yeah. Let's go into there. Yeah. And if we can say ACL2 performances, I'm going to be straight up honest with you right now. The players were never good to begin with. The players that he had to pick are players that are just way too young. 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds. And also players that have never played Hong Kong Premier League football at all. And as well as that, and this is the key point, and I'm so surprised, everyone loves to use the excuse of the bad performance of Eastern in the ACL2. Their main goalkeeper, their captain, Yip, was out injured, and they have never invested in a decent second choice goalkeeper. Yeah. No, I'm surprised. Everyone likes to talk shit about Chino, about his shit tactics. But and I promise to all of the haters of Chino as well, if you watch the highlight of those games, you will and don't be biased as well. Look at some of the goals that Eastern has conceded because of poor goalkeeping. Absolutely horrendous goalkeeping. Now, was his tactics against those teams good? Up to par? No. But it was a difficult group regardless. Ratchaburi is a class team. The Vietnamese team, I think they finished first. I think they finished like what? First place that season, the prior season? And they got Gamba Osaka, which, to be honest with you, a Japanese team will always be levels, no matter what Japanese team is in ACL2, there will always be levels, and I mean levels, ahead of any other team in the Asia tournament. And as well as that, with the injuries that they have, they never properly reinvested back into this team. They got rid of a load of players. And then the players that they brought in, unfortunately, some of them got injured. So if you want to use the argument of, oh, if he's that good at developing young players, why did we perform so bad in the ACL2? Here is my question back to you. Imagine if you were in that position. Imagine you had to run a company. Yeah? Imagine you have to run a business. Let's say IT technician. Yeah? And your company is not giving you many funds, not giving you many players, not giving you many staffs that have the experience. Maybe give you a few that has like 4 to 5 years of experience. Yeah? And then 5 to 6 of your best employees have left the prior year. And then all your chances is fresh grads. How are you going to handle this situation? That is my question to you. Well, before he was good, he had good players. So does every manager. Pep Guardiola, he had great players around him. That is a terrible take. The Hong Kong job offers a ridiculous salary package and not much expectation. Anderson and Westwood were over 300k Hong Kong dollars a month supposedly, and it's because they had a big competition to partake in. Yeah, drawn with the World Cup qualifiers and also the Asia Cup. Am I wrong? I might be wrong in that. Westwood with the Asia qualifiers. Yeah, with the Asia Cup qualifiers, and that was his main role into this. Is his main job is to get into that competition. So when people say, "Oh yeah, Westwood out," "Oh, Westwood got sacked," probably he didn't want to be there anyway. Like, why would he want to be there? Waste time. He probably wanted to go. Westwood knows Nico. He's got the best out of him. Like, you see, it's stuff like this that just I can't take you serious from. It's stuff like this that I can never agree on some of the stuff that you say, Winston, because just because he understands a player that plays for Samshepo doesn't mean that he's a good player. You know what I mean? If that's the case, why did Remy didn't have a single Hong Kong appearance until Chino was the manager of Hong Kong, and Remy already had like a few appearances for Chino, for the Hong Kong national team. Where is the praise for that? If that's the exact vibe that you're going into this, why don't you back him as well for playing the likes of Ng Chuk Pang, that's played for Samshepo, that has played Remy, that has also played for Samshepo? You know what I mean? Because if you want to take it there, we can. You reckon his package would have been significantly less than the package of previous foreign managers like Westwood and Jordan? Oh, absolutely. They must be. They must be. Agree with you, Nathan. At this point, the past coaches wouldn't use local young players. Exactly. Because 25-26, Eastern lost their best young players in 2 transfer windows, and the new young players were nowhere near ready for the first team. Like Fred Wong. Yep, Fred Wong is another good example. A very talented young player. They are not Ng Yuhei or Timmy level. They're not there yet. They may never get there, but there is a chance. Yeah? The football thing that you need to change coach every time you lose is crap to me. Let me work. If after 2 to 3 years nothing happens, then change. And mind you, there is no pressure at the moment. There is no reason as to why people are shouting Chino out. There's just no reason. They want to find something to hate on. HK should definitely be aiming to beat a load of teams ranked below us, especially if it's teams with very poor league systems, rather than HK with a somewhat functional league and lots of CSL guys. Chino will be on less money, you would imagine, given the lack of international pedigree. Yep. Winning or not, it's never that important, but the performance is. That I can agree to. And that's something that Chino has to go back into the drawing board and basically lock the fuck in and think of a solution. Because he's also not playing the style of play that he had when he was at Eastern. In Eastern, he was playing a 4-2-3-1. It's like if I'm known for developing fresh employees in my colleague, I'll make them get their thing together, right? Never mind, I heard the wrong thing. My bad. You see, that I don't know if that example is good. Yeah. But whenever someone mentions about, oh, look at the performance in the ACL2 from Eastern this last season. Yeah? It is the cheapest argument that someone can come up with. That's just me personally. So Chino out? No. I don't think Chino should be sacked. Because why would they sack him? And there's a lot of people that say why we hired him in the first place. Maybe, just maybe, there were no other options. There were 300 candidates. Yeah, 300 candidates my ass, basically. Yeah? I don't believe that. Yeah, I believe it's just a fake number that they have made up just to make Hong Kong look like a very approachable, like, managerial role. Yeah? But to be very honest with you, this is the perfect moment for Hong Kong to not actually need to bring anyone in that has high ambition. Because what they need now, they need to like reset. They need to chill. They need to start from scratch. And that also goes all the way back to the Hong Kong Premier League as well, which could be a completely different video as well. Conclusion, Chino out. No, that's idiotic, but we will still have to admit that we will lose every game until he leaves, which is fine because it's not important. You see, like, people also need to understand that these Hong Kong players aren't as good. Like, it's just mind-boggling to feel and to see how negative this community really is. The moment that he was signed, a lot of fans were already saying Chino out, which to me is incredible. And to now play against India, which was away from home, higher ranked than us, by the way. Yeah, no one's taking that into consideration just because we beat them at our home ground. Yeah, so we should beat them in their away ground, right? I don't know. You know, 2-1 may not be the best football, but what is good football? When was the last time Hong Kong has played good football? Because under Jordan Anderson, under Westwood, it has not been good football either. Yeah, so I want to find actual evidence from the people that says Chino out and tell me which game that they will refer to as a good game. Because I don't recall, since whenever the fuck I will start watching Hong Kong football, when was the last time Hong Kong has played a 10 out of 10, a 9, an 8 out of 10 game? If someone can give me an 8 out of 10 game, I'll be proven wrong. But in the meantime, I'm standing my ground, and everyone is just extremely delusional when it comes to, oh, good football. Because when was the last time Hong Kong has played good football? You guys are much better at analysis tactics than me, but what I didn't see yesterday was the will to fight to the end. Chino should find a way to motivate the players to fight for him. And yep, that goes to another segment that I want to, which is about the players. The players need to take the players need to take responsibility for this defeat. Absolutely. Which also gets to the next segment, which is fans versus manager, which we'll watch a clip together. But I would say that the players have been like this for a long ass time now, and I'm surprised that not a lot of people, not a lot of fans call them out for such a poor performance. Because if Westwood was that good, we should have qualified, right? But why didn't we? Is it the players? Is it the tactics? But then if it's the tactics, then Westwood should go. But now some people are saying like, oh, Westwood should stay. Should have stayed. So what is what? Yeah? So to the Hong Kong players, I don't know. Maybe you will never watch this. I don't care. You know, it is what it is. If no one's going to say it, I will say it. Because no one has said a bloody thing about this. Lock the fuck in. Okay? You are not a celebrity. Yeah? You're not Harry Kane. Yeah? You're not Moussa Dembele. Yeah? You're none of them. You are humble, below average ranking national team players. Yeah? Some of you guys playing the highest tier of Chinese football. What is the highest tier of Chinese football? Last time that a Chinese team has won an ACL Elite Cup was Guangzhou Evergarden. What is a elite Chinese team? Playing the CSL. Great. Some of you guys don't even start. Some of you guys don't even have minutes under your belt. To the players that are in the second division, you're just there for the money. And we all know that. Yeah? Because the competition from the Hong Kong Premier League at the highest teams compared to the second division of Chinese football is about the same. Because I look at all of these players that go to China that is supposed to be incredible players now, has not shown a single ounce of that. Not one. Shinichi, maybe. Sung, yeah. Using them, yeah, I would say. There's definitely a few of them that have played really well in China, but I need to see that experience brought into the Hong Kong, bringing into the Hong Kong Premier League. Not Hong Kong Premier League, bringing into the Hong Kong national team. Yeah? You're not hot shit. Be humble. Back your manager, as you should. You know, which I think they are. And Just keep working hard. Because yesterday was shit. We lost 2-0 to Cambodia yesterday. Okay, let's jump to our fourth segment, which is fans against the manager. Now we're gonna watch something together. Ladies and gents. Prepare for cringe. Why can't I fucking? Are you guys ready for cringe overload? Let me see. We won't lose every game. Come on, don't need to be extreme, man. I think it all depends on the next game, because next game will determine the form. Hong Kong players need money as an incentive. Right now, they have no give 100%. It's just friendlies. At the end of the day, we still need to give confidence to our team, both coach and players. Last night, they looked very sad, which I hate to see. Oh dear, it's that IG video, isn't it? You know, damn right it is. You know, damn right it is. Let's watch this together. Already, you can say, how are they so bad? There are claps. It's all good. It's pretty loud claps, by the way. Yeah. Maybe it's from Cambodia, I don't know. But there were claps. And then... someone said, fuck off, Chino. And then we just continue on.
Hey, Chino! That crap is for the players, not for you! We crack for the players, not for you! 19 minutes! Two shots in 90 minutes! Not even one on target!
What do you want I do?
What do we want
Go
to do?
down! Step down, step down!
You are the fucking manager!
Okay.
You asked me this question!
No! We respect the player! We respect the player! Yes! Every player! Okay. But not you!
Yes. I'm going to try my best. Okay? I'm going to try my best. Everything I can, okay? I'm going to do my best to help, to review, to start again. It takes time. You cannot reveal in one game or 2 games. It's going to take time. You're playing
6 games already!
19 years old. You're 21 years old. It takes time.
We never lost to Cambodia! We don't deserve this!
One game. It takes time.
Our team don't deserve
You
this!
have to trust and believe.
Maybe history for you. Since 1954, we never lose to Cambodia. Not even score 1 goal.
You have so many excuses!
Yes, step down.
I take the responsibility.
To be honest, we respect all the player. Yeah, we respect all the player, to be honest.
That's good. Just keep supporting them, okay? And we're going to try the best we can. Just take time, guys. Take a little bit time. Be a little bit patient. A little bit patient. And let's ask a little bit patient. It's going to take a little bit time. Things doesn't change in 1 goal. I apologize. I don't want to lose the game, okay? Take a little bit time, guys. It cannot change in one game, 2 games, 3 games. It takes a little bit time. Just be a little bit patient, please. Just a little bit. Give the chance to change things. Okay? Please, I just ask you that. Okay?
Better this time.
Okay, just keep a little bit time.
Yes, better this time.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay? Thank you for coming. Thank you.
Okay. So, as we have all seen in this footage, there's definitely a few things I want to speak off my mind first. Okay? Was the anger justified from those fans? Wait, let me play some music, or else it sounds a little bit too serious, you know what I mean? Was the anger justified? Yes. Yes, it was. I feel where they're coming from. Yeah? I think the anger inside them was fair. Okay? Did he have to say what he had to say? Did the fans that called out Chino, did they have to do that? No. No, they didn't. Because if you are a decent human being that have good morals, you would know that Chino is fuming inside, in his heart, because he has a point to prove. Because the moment that he has joined this team, no one respected him. Barely any supporters in Hong Kong liked him as a manager to begin with. So he has this fire in him that wants to prove all of you little pricks wrong. Okay? So should the fan have said what he said to him? No, he shouldn't. But his anger was justified. Now, I'm going to be completely honest. If this get clipped, it get clipped. Okay? To the fans that have said this, to the fans that have lashed out their anger onto you, onto Chino, onto the players, I do not support anything that you guys say, because you are disgraced. You are clearly mentally not here, I would think. I respect that you guys have gone all the way to Cambodia to support the Hong Kong team. I do believe that. You guys are genuine good people. But there is a bit of anger issues from you guys. And the main thing, and a lot of people are saying this, and I'll get to the comments as well. Which Joe has mentioned that what you want me to do has been misinterpreted. Yes, I 100% agree. People are laughing at it. I think this is one of the saddest things a manager had to say to a fan, or to some fans. You know, if you deep it, people think it's hilarious. But that's a human being. That's a human that's trying to prove a point. And the first thing you guys think of is clowning on him, saying Chino out, Chino this, saying he's a shit manager. Shut up, my Taobao speakers. Calling him out, saying Chino out, never believed him, just an overall bad manager, shit at his job, awful person, bing bang bosh. Yeah, that's just unacceptable. And the other thing I want to say is the whole clapping thing. That's probably one of the cringiest things I've ever heard in my life. We're clapping for the players, not for you. Which also goes back to what I've said previously. What's with the dick ride on these players? Because those are the players that played. Those are the same players that have failed to qualify for the Asia Cup. Those are the same players that have performed shit, you know, in the Asia Cup of the last Asian Cup. Those are the same players that failed in the World Cup qualifiers. But we clap them because they have big influential presence. Oh, I don't want to piss Matt Orr off. Oh, I don't want Junior to be angry. Oh, I want Everton to still be in the good books. I want Everton to reply to my messages. Oh, I want Jason Cam to follow me on Instagram. Yeah, we clap these players because we respect them. We're clapping for these players. That is the most outright bullshit thing a fan has ever said. Because if they're truly that angry, they would have lashed it out on the players as well. But do you know why? Because they're afraid that they would get caught out by these players, and they're also afraid that these players will shout back at them, which then the fans of the Hong Kong national team will now remember them as, oh, these ones, like the Hong Kong players, didn't really like him. Like, those are the ones that are shouting at the Hong Kong players. We can't support them. No, 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 no. So they decided to use that anger already on a manager that no one likes, apparently, and just lash it out on him. In a very disgusting manner. It's such a Hong Kong thing to do, by the way. It's such a disgusting, typical Hong Kong attitude towards things. It's to make sure that you are down in the gutter, 6 feet under, and I'm still shoveling more dirt out. So I can ensure that you're far deep into this ground. That is the typical Hong Kong criticism way. And another thing I also want to mention to the players as well. No post on Instagram backing your manager after this incident? Nothing? Nothing? Really? I've waited 24 hours, by the way, just to see would a single one of these lot would back the manager and just be like, we are all in this together. Vaz Nunes, even though he didn't have the best of games, he's the only player that stood up for their manager, and Eugene Num as well. Eugene Num came up to him and tried to push him back. Those are the only 2 players that have done anything. The rest of them stood far away, cowards. Just because a few Hong Kong players were angry. I said what I said. If that ensures that I will never get a collab with any of these future Hong Kong players because of what I said, let that be. I will speak from the heart. Most of these players should at that point defend him and just be like, we're in this together, we're in this as a team, respect the coach, respect us, we will give you our all. Just believe in the process. But none of them did that. Only a few. Not a single post on Instagram either way. That goes to my point previously. I kind of feel bad because he's just trying his best, but the fans also don't deserve this bad football, so I understand both sides. What is this bad football? Like, what? You're talking as if like he is the worst manager in history. Winston, you still have not given me a single game that is an 8 out of 10. I am still waiting on that. I think honestly, most interpret what he means by what you want me to do. I believe that is just him just reacting to it in the heart of the moment, almost casually rather than a serious answer. You can tell he come out very calm, and then when he got hit with the criticism, he was shocked. I feel that was taken out of context massively and is blown out of proportion, and everyone using it against him now, sadly. It is truly sad. But do you know what Hong Kong likes to do? They like abusing people. They like chatting shit about people. That's what Hong Kong people is good at. Very disrespectful. I feel ashamed of the fans led. Yeah, I absolutely agree. They should hang their head up in shame. Disgraceful. Mind you, don't speak like that to another human being. Fuck if he's the manager. Thank you for some soothing music. Shouldn't be talking to a coach like that, especially when we are abroad. Mate, shouldn't even be talking like that to a person. Another thing you also said can clearly see the players trust Chino with their body language and how they were almost protecting him from the abuse. Timmy was in tears seeing the action against Chino. Because we all know the likes of Timmy, they're young players. Yeah? Imagine how this will affect these other players in this team, these young players. Do they want to play for the Hong Kong team if this is how the fans will treat them when they're playing bad football? Like, I promise you right now, this, like, people think like, oh, this is like funny, you know, like Chino's getting clowned on. This is going to do a lot more damage on the players than the actual manager. Because now these players, they have so much pressure. The criticism to the manager, a new, fresh manager, shows that there is no patience in this team. So to all of the players that are playing in this team right now, like, they're probably worried, they're scared. They don't know what to do. So the next game that they play, they have to play out of their boots. Because if not, the fans will clown on Chino, shout at him, saying all of these horrible things to him. And the players will not get any sort of abuse. Imagine in their position. They're the ones that's like, imagine like the manager. Okay, maybe another good example. Yeah? Maybe another good example. Your parents. Yeah? They have brought you up. And, you know, you ended up doing something that you shouldn't have. Do you think, and in this situation, people don't clown on you, they clown on your parents? Yeah? Imagine if you had to deal with your parents getting criticized because of your actions. How would you guys feel? To the people that doubted Chino, how would you feel? Because I think that's absolutely unacceptable. Very good point about the lack of IG posts. You are right. You see, I was waiting for the whole day just to see maybe 1, 2, not everyone, but maybe just a few, maybe a 2 to 3 players saying, we are one, we are united, we are in this together, trust the process. Not a single one. Jay Haddo, as much as I love him, he only posted people saying debut, 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 debut. Yeah? Matty Orr, you know, just highlights. Other players, just highlights. Debut. First appearance. Here are my highlights. And not a single one of these players have backed this manager. It's just disgraceful. I love these players, don't get me wrong. I love them. If you wear that Hong Kong shirt, if you wear this Hong Kong shirt, you have my full support. But I'm so surprised none of them have came out and defended this guy, knowing that there is so much negativity. I'm glad Vas did that for the young players to see. Yeah, for the young players. He is a leader. He's 30 years old. He has to set an example. People did call Vas out on Instagram in this post about let me see if I can find what they said. Respect the fans who sacrifice time and money to support. It is not necessary to travel such long distance. Show your levels. Advance Nunes. Advance Nunes, you demand respect, but where was the respect from you? Where was the respect from the coaches? Where was the respect from the team and the performance? How dare you say that? Vas Nunes, respect. That's the most respect way to express our anger. Imagine you guys play like this in the same countries with passionate fans. You see, all of this, they just sound like shit. They just sound like dog shit. Yeah? Because these people just sound like absolute dickheads. Yeah? If anything, if you're going to at Vas and say what you want to say, yeah, you should probably say, I respect what you said, but the performance needs to be better. The anger has to be let out in a certain way. It shouldn't have been done like that, but you guys know you guys have to play better. So that would have been my response, and not this sort of way. Money, expenses, yeah, that's true. Absolutely true. It's not like the Hong Kong FA is going to give refunds like certain Premier League teams in the away days. Yeah. But, like, come on. It's a risk to go on away day. Yeah. Why not? If that's the case, why not say this about the India team, the game against India? Why not say that about the game against Singapore? Yeah. Why not say that? What other games do we play away? The Guangdong game, the away end, where we drew and then we lost in penalties. Why don't you say anything about that? Yeah. Why not say all of that when we're in the Asia Cup? Yeah. Where was all of this anger? What? Just because it's Chino now? And back then, Jordan Anderson, big presence. Westwood, big presence. Oh, shouldn't piss him off because he's going to come back at me. They know Chino is not going to chat shit back to them. Yeah. I promise you, if Chino came back lashing out at them, all of these Hong Kong supporters would have shut up. They'll be like, oh shit. Anyone who just said, anyone who says just because they paid for away trips over the years giving to them a right to abuse anyone, let alone your own national team manager. Some Hong Kong fans are just too entitled and egotistical as well. It is disgraceful. I never say he deserves the abuse like that, but I'm just saying why Hong Kong fans are pissed. So, you know, I saw your comment. You know, I saw your comment. You're technically contributing into this, my friend. If all the players post similar "we are one," then it sounds like a Hong Kong FA PR excuse. PR exercise. You see, I'm not saying all of them should put out there. I'm not saying all of them should do that. I'm just saying a selected few. I was surprised, because I did say earlier, I was thinking maybe like 2 to 3 people would say that, but not one. And I expected maybe like 2 or 3 people would do that, but not one did. That's where I was coming from. You know, what kind of talk is that? They might have played shit, but they didn't insult anyone. Yeah. Also, harsh to slag Jay off. He's gone from Cambodia to China for you. No. Not. By the way, just so people know, I'm not slagging anyone off. Yeah, I say I love them. I respect them as people. Yeah, but it's just that if you're gonna post a lot of these stuff, highlights, you know, debuts, and all of that, I think you should also take into consideration that you should also back your team. You should also back your manager. And if you're there experiencing the abuse, I feel like you also have the right and maybe the responsibility to come out, because you're the players. The fans don't hate you. You know that. So if you come out and said, let's all just join together and work through this, rebuild, I feel like a lot of Hong Kong supporters wouldn't abuse Chino as much as they are now. That's where I'm coming from. I'm not saying these players are responsible. They're responsible for the defeat, yes, but I'm not expecting them to post anything. But I would have wished they would have. Also, given how stupid some HK fans are, they're just going to comment Chino out on them. Okay, yeah, well, that's true. True on that, but I would still say it would be nice to see something like that. So, I'll go to the last segment and I'm going to pop off because I didn't expect myself to be here for 2 hours, but here we are. So, personally, it is a dark time for Hong Kong football. Yeah? It is the first time where there isn't really anything to look forward to in a while, you know. But also wait, sorry, let me also see. Folks say Eric Folk did a post about Nansha and yachts and it got spammed with Chino out comments. Oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, I mean, look. I mean, it just shows you how stupid some Hong Kong fans really are. What's the expectation? What, win the World Cup? You're acting like we're gonna win the World Cup. By the way, still no Chino out supporters have said who they would have wished to have a manager, which is realistic, and still no one has posted a single good game of football under for Hong Kong in the last few years. Still none of you guys have done that. But so my opinion is that this is a tough time. This is a time where the fans have to unite together, be as one with the players, with the coaching staff, with the manager, because the Hong Kong FA has taken a risk to start from scratch. Yeah? I think we can all agree to that. We need to rebuild. We need to start from somewhere. Yeah? If Guardiola shows up for free tomorrow to manage there, he won't win anything either. Yeah. That's also a good point. You really think these players are as good as you think they are? I don't think they are. I think they are average bunch, which, by the way, just saying, I'm shit at football. But I'm a fan. Yeah? And I'm just being realistic. We're 155 in the global rankings. We are shit. We are below average. Yeah? If they're that good, we shouldn't be in this position right now. If they were that good, probably a few players, you know, could have used their individual brilliance as they always do, like the likes of Everton, like the likes of Mateo, you know, all of them lot, you know, probably try to score a goal out of nowhere, who knows. But I wish, even to myself, I was a little bit aggressive earlier, and I do apologize in that, because that's not truly what I want to represent. To the people that are Chino out, I hope you guys can reconsider and just, you know, be realistic in a way, because Chino's not going to leave. He's not going to leave now. He is the manager now. You can't do anything about it, because the Hong Kong RTO, the Hong Kong FA, will not sack a manager that just signed. Yeah? So get that in your noggin. And what you guys should do is back the team. Even if you don't like what you're seeing, even if we lost, you gotta back the team. No abuse, no shouty, no verbal abuses, none of that. Just support the boys, because that's what the fans are. We can voice our opinion, we absolutely can. But we gotta do it differently. Because calling out someone saying that you're shit, we're capping for the players, not for you, yeah, saying that you're the first manager in history in Hong Kong to lose Cambodia, yeah, it's not a good look. And it's a very bad look as Hong Kong fans, which, to be very honest with you, after that situation, I kind of want to distance myself from it. I already don't really want to go to Hong Kong games anymore, to be honest, because I don't really want to be associated with these guys. But due to my channel, probably I should, especially with the FIFA ASEAN Cup. But if I was there in Cambodia, I would have probably shouted at those fans as well and just told them to shut the fuck up. Disrespectful. Don't say another word. Bing. Just like that. So thank you very much for everyone for coming by. It's already 10:15. I know there's a lot of like yappy, we're speaking a lot of Japanese today, but you know, it's one of the first times I've ever done something like this. You know, it may be, you know, maybe a little bit aggressive, maybe a little bit, you know, out of touch, maybe been speaking so much on stuff, but I do apologize. But I feel like I need to I need to also release some sort of like, you know, anger out in a way, and this is the best way I can do it, is to talk to people, have a discussion. So yeah, I also love this team, by the way. Only football I really watch. Yeah, I mean, in this day and age, like I like Tottenham. I love football, but I love this team. I love Hong Kong, the Hong Kong national team. I love these. I respect all of the players. I love the Hong Kong Premier League. So just, you know, to the fans, just don't abuse them, because don't abuse the manager, because you might not know this, but maybe some of the players will feel that anger passed down to them from like through the manager, because they're shouting at the manager, and then the players might think, oh, if it's towards the manager, it's also towards me. So to all of the fans that are angry, this is a dark time, but we're gonna stick together. It is a rebuild. LOL, then you might end up on the same plane as them. Yep. Get some rest, lad. Thank you, bro. Chino wasn't helped by having confirming him last Friday. I agree. That, don't know why that took so long. Easily could have been done weeks, if not months ago. Taking the time for this decision, then having 2 games straight after was stupid. Yeah, I 100% agree with your statement there, Adam. The Hong Kong FA just really bad at managing time, organizing things, just horrible. To be honest with you, this year they've been really bad at it, really poor. They need to step up their game. Don't let our players and staff and coach have PTSD. Please don't. Please, we gotta help them. Let them be mentally strong. All right, guys. Thank you very much for coming by. Hopefully you guys have a good rest of the evening. Let's just all calm down and relax. And I'll see you guys next time.